Welcome to Mapping the Conversation. I'm Vaughn, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Drew Torzok. Today we're diving into a spirited debate. Should Halloween stay on October 31st, or should it be moved to the last Saturday of Halloween? It's a question that touches on history, safety, family traditions, and even economic considerations. Drew, are you ready to tackle this?
Absolutely, Vaughn. This is a debate where both sides bring compelling points to the table. I'll be defending the traditional October 31st date, emphasizing the importance of preserving its rich cultural roots. Let's jump in. Welcome back. Let's start with history. Halloween has its origins in the Celtic festival of Samhain, marking the end of the harvest and the start of winter. Bettina Arnold, a historian from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, explains that the Celts believed the boundary between the living and the dead blurred during this time, leading to traditions like wearing costumes to ward off spirits. Isn't that fascinating?
It is, Drew. But Halloween's history doesn't stop there. When it transitioned to All Hallows' Eve under Christian influence, it became a day to honor saints and the deceased. Over time, as Hannah Hollington, a cultural studies expert, points out, it evolved again into a community-centered celebration of fun. This adaptability shows Halloween's strength. Why not let it further evolve to fit our modern lives?
Because some traditions act as cultural anchors, Vaughn. They connect us to our roots. Moving Halloween's date might sever that connection, especially for communities that value its deeper historical significance. The current date holds a legacy that's worth preserving.
I understand your perspective, but history shows us that Halloween thrives on adaptation. For example, trick-or-treating, a staple of modern Halloween, only became popular in the 20th century. If we've embraced change before, why stop now when it could make celebrating more convenient and enjoyable? Let's shift gears into safety. Did you know that Halloween is statistically the most dangerous night of the year for child pedestrians? According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, children are 43% more likely to be fatally struck by a vehicle on Halloween than any other night. Doesn't that make the case for moving it to a Saturday, when trick-or-treating could start earlier and avoid evening traffic?
That's a compelling argument, Vaughn, but many communities already have measures in place to address these safety concerns. For instance, some communities designate specific trick-or-treating hours, while parents form neighborhood groups to supervise children. These steps can mitigate risks without needing to change the date.
Even so, weekday celebrations inevitably coincide with peak traffic hours, creating additional risks. Saturday Halloween would alleviate this by spreading activities across the day. Isn't proactive prevention better than reactive measures?
Proactive prevention is important, but there are alternatives to moving the date. As Procon.org highlights, strategies like reflective costumes, improved street lighting, and community-led safety campaigns can also reduce accidents. Changing the date is not the only solution.
Let's talk about the financial side. When Halloween falls on a weekend, consumer spending spikes. Tiny Beans reports that businesses see increased sales of costumes, decorations, and candy. A Saturday celebration could open up opportunities for festivals, parades, and extended events. Wouldn't this boost local economies?
That's a valid point, Vaughn, but as Anna Howington argues, Halloween's charm lies in its cultural and communal significance, not just its commercial success. Over-prioritizing economics risks overshadowing what makes the holiday special.
True, but economic benefits are part of modern traditions. Many towns rely on Halloween-related tourism and themed events for revenue. A Saturday celebration could provide even greater support for small businesses and local communities.
Perhaps, but businesses already capitalize on Halloween with extended festivities leading up to October 31st. There's no need to change the date to maximize profits when the current setup works well.
Another angle is family involvement. Moving Halloween to a Saturday would allow parents to avoid rushing home from work, and kids can enjoy longer celebrations without worrying about school the next day. According to an ABC 10 report, this shift could make the holiday more inclusive and less stressful. Doesn't that sound like a win-win?
It does sound appealing, but families already find ways to celebrate. Weekend trunk-or-treat events and local parades happen regardless of the official date. These traditions foster community spirit without requiring a change.
But wouldn't removing the midweek stress create a more relaxed environment? Parents could focus on making memories without juggling work and school obligations.
That's a fair point, but spontaneity is part of Halloween's magic. Kids love the excitement of celebrating on a school night. Procon.org even notes that these midweek celebrations add to the thrill.
What about a compromise? Some experts suggest hosting community events on the nearest Saturday while keeping October 31st for traditional trick-or-treating. Britannica highlights this as a way to balance convenience and tradition. What's your take?
It's an interesting idea, but splitting the celebration might dilute its impact. I'd rather see us advocate for a national holiday on October 31st. That way, everyone gets the day off to celebrate properly without losing its historical significance.
A national holiday is a bold proposal, Drew. It could address family involvement, safety, and even economic concerns while preserving Halloween's traditional date. It's an idea worth exploring.
At its heart, this debate reflects broader societal values. Do we prioritize safety and convenience, or do we hold on to cultural traditions? Halloween's adaptability is its strength, and as Anna Howington pointed out, it's possible to honor its roots while meeting modern needs.
Well said, Drew. Whether you're Team Saturday or Team October 31st, the key is to celebrate with joy and community. Halloween brings people together, and that's what matters most. Let's expand the conversation to a global scale. Did you know that similar celebrations to Halloween exist in other cultures? For example, in Mexico, the Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, honors deceased loved ones through vibrant altars, food, and festivities. According to National Geographic, this tradition blends indigenous practices with Catholic influences, creating a meaningful way to celebrate and remember family. Drew, doesn't this show how adaptable cultural celebrations can be?
It's a great example, Vaughn, but it also highlights how deeply tied these traditions are to specific dates and cultural contexts. Just as Dia de los Muertos aligns with the November 1st and 2nd, Halloween's connection to October 31st is part of its identity. Changing the date might weaken that connection.
Perhaps, but it also shows that traditions can evolve while maintaining their essence. In Japan, festivals like Obon honor ancestors with lanterns and dances, yet these practices have adapted to modern schedules. Flexibility doesn't have to mean losing meaning.
True, but it's important to consider how these changes might affect the cultural significance of the holiday. Balancing tradition with modern convenience requires careful thought, and that's why preserving Halloween's date might be the best way forward.
Before we wrap up, we want to hear from you. Should Halloween move to the last Saturday, stay on October 31st, or do you have another idea? Share your thoughts by filling out our listener feedback form linked in the episode's description. Your input helps us map the conversation further.
And remember, this isn't just about logistics. It's about preserving what makes Halloween special to you and to your community. Your voice matters.
That's it for today's episode of Mapping the Conversation. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and share the episode with your friend. Until next time, stay spooky.
Bye, everyone, and have a happy Halloween, no matter how or when you celebrate it.